I just want to give you guys a little bit of a pre-frame here about the training, what it's going to be about today. So it's really about, we're going to start off with refining those thoughts and feelings and beliefs around inviting, because ultimately our beliefs are what is determining our habits, and our habits are ultimately everything when it comes to building a successful business. So, this is any kind of business too, right? Like in the world of entrepreneurship, mindset is such an important part, and you really can't move forward until you can wrap your hands around what that mindset piece needs to look like. It becomes really hard to convert customers into leads if you don't have that mindset piece right first. Then what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the tactical side of it. What are the actual to-dos around how to invite properly, how to create that authority and attraction magnet for your audience, and how to be able to do that on autopilot, leaving that hey girl hamster wheel behind. So if you can show up in your full power without all those weird like mindset things that hold you back, and you can move confidently in the direction of where you need to go, you're going to start attracting great customers. You're going to get them committed, and you're going to start to see people come to you. And so you're going to learn all about that today. So, love it. Okay. So I want to just take a minute, to ask you guys, are you looking at your phone right now? This is always something I like to do at the beginning of a masterclass. I want you to give me 10 minutes of fully dedicated attention, and at least 10 minutes. And if you're not fully in it by the end of the 10 minutes, then open your email, check your phone, go on social, whatever you need to do. Or you can get your like inaugural selfie right now. That totally works as well, but do it and then put on do not disturb. If you just give me 10 minutes with the door closed with your full attention, and turn off your phone, I promise you this will be better than the last 3 paid trainings that you have done. That is my promise to you today. I want to make sure that you walk away with tools that help set you up for that long-term strategy that you've been yearning for. I get it. I totally get it. And so you set this time aside, you signed up, you've got the emails, you're here, you're ready. So show up for yourself and remove those distractions. And this is sometimes how mindset stuff works, is that it can show up and we start off the whole conversation that we're having today by telling ourselves our attention is best spent elsewhere, right? So that's why I want to make this, agreement right now, because sometimes if you are experiencing those mindset and inviting blocks, your mind's already going to be going into, oh, this isn't going to work for me. So we need to be aware of that and present to that. So I'm going to put my phone on do not disturb, just like you guys. And I'm going to take my quick little selfie here. Make sure it's real. There we go. All right. So we are jumping into things. So you're in the right place today if you're a Beachbody coach feeling uncomfortable with sales right now, but know this is a more important time than ever to be talking home-based fitness. Also, you're not sure what to say about the coaching opportunity, but realize more people than ever are looking for online income. There couldn't be a better time to be an online coach with Beachbody On Demand records being broken and so many people working out from home. There's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable going back to the gym. And you know that there's an opportunity out there, but you're not sure what to say. And lastly, you don't want to miss this once in a lifetime opportunity to grow your business while helping others and providing that hope and support for so many people in the process, because that's ultimately what you guys do as coaches. And putting your message out there is that you are helping to serve that audience that desperately, desperately needs you. So if all of those things resonate with you, then you are in the right place today. So by staying to the end, you're going to get 2 main things today, which are super important. The first is the workbook and a 1-hour training. So this is the formula for overcoming objections. I get asked from coaches all the time, how do I overcome objections, and do you have a script for it? So I was tired of letting people down. I put it all together here for you. This comes from 16 years of fitness and membership sales experience. So it's not just some, run-of-the-mill sales experience thrown together. This is the stuff that not only was I taught, but I used to teach because I did all the sales training across the company. And this is all of it compiled into what works best and how to do it in an authentic and non-salesy way. So you're going to get the workbook. You're going to get the 1-hour training that I've done on this, on inviting as well. And also at the end, I'm going to give you guys a coupon code, as well as I have some prizes and giveaways. So you're not going to want to miss it. The second thing is the 5-day done for you posting party workbook. So if you're on this call today, you are probably someone that has joined the posting party this week, which is 5 days of back-to-back support. You're going to get a post every day. We start tomorrow, so you're actually going to get 2 tomorrow. You're also going to get accountability, meaning that you're going to need to post your post in the group so we can all share those posts. You're going to be able to have a look at hundreds of other posts. And then you're also going to get training on how to tweak those posts towards your ideal customer. So in this posting party workbook, there is some ideal customer homework for you to fill out. It's just 3 questions, but this is really going to help you beyond the 5 days. This will really set you up for success when it comes to what to post out there, and really getting used to this idea of when you have a template, how much easier it is to be consistent. So make sure that you don't leave and not get access to this workbook, because it's so worth it. Those 2 things alone right here, my friends, are the things that are really going to be a huge asset to your business. So I don't want you to miss out on those. So I'll tell you how to get those at the end after we get through our masterclass training today. So here is what you'll learn today. We're going to talk about inviting blocks. And usually when we talk about mindset blocks, we talk about it from like 50,000 feet above. And I'm going to bring it down to earth so you can see how these inviting blocks might be manifesting in your day-to-day life and habits, because that's where it really matters. And that's where it will be most impactful to see and observe those changes that need to be made. We're also going to talk about what you can do to move past them so that you can build authentic relationships and start building your business and customer base on autopilot. We always talk about something called new level, new devil. And what that is that no matter where you are in your business, you're always going to face some sort of inviting or money blocks. And the reason this is that whenever we get to this next level, we have this like unconscious operating system in our brain running, and nobody really knows where that is until they get to that level. And then they feel this resistance of it, almost like manifests itself like, getting that many customers a month or getting that many coaches a month would be way too hard. And it's like you almost talk yourself out of it before you even begin. So we're going to talk about those, because every time we reach a new level of success, whether that's in our business or as a coach with our fitness goals, we do have to be aware of these things that come up when we hit that new level so that we have a plan of how we're going to overcome them. And then we are also going to dive into what that knot in your stomach really means when you get into inviting and all of a sudden you face this resistance, like you start telling yourself or observing like, oh, I hate this part of the business, and how to really work through that. And just a reminder, growing your wealth and learning about all these things, it's a lifelong process. And let me tell you, mindset with this stuff is something that when I have focused the most time on my mindset, everything else falls into place. So if this is something somewhat new to you, that's a good thing, because it means you're going to be able to see some big wins along the way, because mindset is such an important part of being an entrepreneur and an online coach. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me and my story before we jump into things, because I think it's really important in setting the tone and being able to understand how the dots connect. So I'm here because I love helping social sellers eliminate the marketing overwhelm so they can build authentic businesses. I don't know about you guys, but when things get overwhelming for me, I shut down and I can't move forward in my business. It's like I get this like analysis paralysis. And if you're anything like me, the best thing someone can do for you, whether it be a coach or someone on your team or someone you hire, it's someone that can help remove those barriers so you can just focus and go ahead in your business. That is my personality style, because I think that overwhelm is the enemy of execution. So anytime that you are overwhelmed, you will not move forward in your business. Think about anyone you're coaching too, right? If you were to give them a 10-step plan on how to lose weight and get fit, and they had to like drink their water, measure all their foods, do a workout every day, they had to meditate, they had to fill in their journal, like they're just going to be so overwhelmed that they're not going to even know where to start, and they'll quit before they even start. So that is if you're anything like me, pop it in the comments, because that is 100% who I am and who I like to help. Your ideal customer and who you guys like to help in the fitness industry is going to be very similar to yourselves, right? It's like a version of you 1 or 2 steps ago, and that's who normally we're most drawn to helping. So it's just important to recognize that. And if you're that sort of person too, that you just need a simple plan, I'm exactly the same way. I totally get that. So selling in business is a basic survival need. So I want you to check in with yourself for a second here. How do you feel when I say you need to invite or you need to sell in your business? I'd love to see you guys post in the comments there. How does that make you feel? For most people, there might be this like visceral reaction. And even for me, when I heard someone say like, you need to do this, you need to sell, you need to do more of this, it made me think like, oh, like I'm being forced to do this. Or if I'm being forced to sell, my intentions aren't pure, and I'm going to like come across as salesy, like they're going to smell my commission breath or something. And we start to associate it with this like slimy used car salesperson, right? When we feel forced to sell. Our society really demonizes selling, right? You think of any of those movies. I don't know if you guys have seen like The Wolf on Wall Street or Boiler Room, or Glenn Ross, like any of those movies about sales, like they really demonize sales and make it out to be that there's all these people behind it that are inauthentic and not in for the right intentions, right? So if you feel gross to sell, one, it totally makes sense, because what is being presented out there is really like the ugly side of it. And the second thing is you're going to immediately have a block towards it because you don't want to be gross. And that's what you see out there, right? So this is all going on in the back of your brain as you're thinking about sales and selling. So nobody wants to have commission breath, that is for sure. And that's where really thinking about selling in business, the way that we think about it needs to change, because selling is service and service is sales. The more that you can understand exactly what your ideal customer needs without any attachment, without any preconceived judgments about what they need, it's really about listening first and then delivering, not trying to deliver and be like, oh, like, are you on a health and fitness journey too? Like, you should do what I'm doing, da, 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 and like firing off a bunch of solutions when you don't even know what their issue is, what they're struggling with. They haven't even opened up about it. So I want you to remember that and write that down. Selling is service, sales is service, service is sales. That's what I want you to be thinking about as we're going through this material today. So I want to take it back 2.5 years ago. So this was this is sort of the reality leading up to 2.5 years ago. My husband and I love to travel. I had been working at a gym. I had just started. I was a personal trainer and a manager of a fitness club. And like immediately we sort of realized that it didn't provide us the freedom that we wanted. When you're working in sales, it tends to be all hours of the day, weekends, like the numbers are never good enough, like all these sort of feelings. So we packed up everything and we moved to Vietnam, and we spent a year there together. We were teaching English. We were just living this lifestyle of like tasting that freedom for the first time. And it really set the tone for us that we wanted freedom, we wanted flexibility, and deep down, I really wanted to figure out a way that I could create this lifestyle and be able to do these things whenever I wanted. After spending a year there, we decided to come back to Canada, and I went back into the fitness industry. And it was interesting because my path, I had actually done an English literature degree in school and a women's studies degree, but fitness was just always that place that I felt like most comfortable. I didn't know how I was going to write books or, teach English or anything like that in terms of like professor level. So I just went back into fitness and started coaching sales teams. I started training sales and running districts of clubs up to 9 at one time. And then it eventually led to me being on one side of Canada, my husband being on the other, a 5-hour flight apart. And I was working as the president of a fitness company, and my husband was working as a power engineer in his hometown. And we would fly, across Canada every 6 weeks to be together. And I ended up getting notification that the company I was working for was closed, like effective immediately. So not very different than, the climate of some of the things right now. And I had a huge choice to make, because I could either go find a job and start printing and handing out resumes. And I'm not going to lie, I handed out maybe one resume where I applied for an entrepreneurial professor. And thank goodness I spelled entrepreneur wrong, because if I hadn't, I might have gotten that job and none of this would have unfolded for me the way it did. So although I was at the time disappointed that I hadn't made it to work in this college, obviously I spelt the title wrong. Sort of makes sense. But what all of this made me realize is that I had always relied on someone else to tell me my worth. And whether it came to what days I could take off, how much money I was worthy of, what I was really capable, which ideas were good, which ideas were bad. And this was really what I would call a serious case of bad boyfriend syndrome. Like, it's like this idea that someone else knows your worth more than you do. So you just start listening to them. And this was like every boss I had had. I wanted to be the perfectionist, like the good girl that just followed what other people told me to do. I think I knew deep down I had another gear, but I didn't have the proof. The proof wasn't out there. So I just relied on what I saw around me. So this, as you guys can see, is all mindset stuff, right? My mindset about what I was capable of and what was available for me, it was seriously impacted by the people that I worked with on a daily basis. So looking back and speeding up to the present, this is sort of weird, but I'm going to share it because I'm a little woo. And if you like woo, you'll get this. So 7 months before I lost my job, I had a dream in the middle of the night, and I woke up and it was so clear that I was going to start something called the Fitness Leader Institute. I'd always dabbled in online marketing. My husband was super techie, like really great at this stuff. And when we were in Vietnam, we were finding factories to work with and selling products back in the day of eBay. So I had this dream and I woke up, and I've never been more clear in my life about where I needed to go and what my purpose was. So I started working early mornings before my, job as the president started, and when I would come home at night. My husband wasn't in British Columbia with me, so I had this extra time. And it's interesting what really happens when your mind becomes connected to where you need to go and there's no more convincing needed. And this is where that confidence comes from, of why meditating and doing all these things to prime your mind. Because if you're not focused on the back and forth of is it possible? Is it not? I'm going to make it. Am I not? And going back and forth, it's amazing how much space is cleared up in your mind to just focus on getting the damn thing done. And that's what happened, is that I just started working and working and working. So that day that I got the phone call that all the clubs were closing and that everyone was out of a job, I had a backup plan. I had backup plan B. I had been working towards it for 7 months. And I was able to, put the sales up in my business. And I started from 0 coaches. I wasn't helping any Beachbody coaches at the time, but speeding up to the present now, I help 30,000 coaches a month. And I started the exact same way you guys do, where I started with a Facebook community with 0 people. I started with, hey girl, hustling. And I would send messages to other Beachbody coaches out there saying, hey, like, I'm in fitness and sales training. I can see you have a team. Like, I'd love to come and do a free call for you. This was the type of thing I started with to get my business up and running. So now, speeding forth to the present, that is 2.5 years ago that I've been in the online world of helping Beachbody coaches. I make a choice every day and I will never need a job again. And the reason that I'm so confident in that is because the system, this 4-part inviting system I'm going to tell you guys about, is exactly what has propelled my business to a level that I get to help so many coaches every month. I have coaches coming to me all the time asking for help. And when you have that sort of understanding of how building an online following works and how to really brand yourself and differentiate yourself in a sea of sameness from other people, you will never need a job again, because the internet, as I have learned over the last 2.5 years, can be your ATM. I promise you. I'm not just saying that out of, well, I've heard that before, so I should repeat it. I promise you, it really, really, really can be and has. And I think the crazy part about all of this is that when it actually comes to, I look at the choices I get to make now. I'm 36 weeks pregnant. So you guys are lucky, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be in labor or have a baby at this point. So it's, fingers crossed things are going well. And in terms of the calls are happening. So that's awesome. I'm really glad you guys are able to make this masterclass. And I had this dream of being able to retire my husband and be able to stay home with our baby. And that is currently unfolding for us right now. So I promise you that no matter where you are in your business, no matter what you feel like the landscape looks around you, I know what it's like to start from zero. And I know what it's like to really want something. You've got to protect your mindset and who you allow into that space more than anything. Because ultimately that is the biggest engine behind what puts your foot on the gas or puts your foot on the brake. And if you're doing both of those things because your mindset is going back and forth between it's possible, it's not, it's possible, it's not, because you're like sharing your goals with your family and friends who've never done this before, then you're going to face some resistance. So that's what I want you to just be aware of. The people you need to talk to about your dreams are the people that you would trade lives with in terms of their business life. People that have done this before. Those are the people that you want to fill in your head with those sort of thoughts and those sort of influences. So I want to dive in and start talking about how to start making these changes, okay? So you can turn this around really quickly in your business if you get this. If you don't, you may end up working a lot harder than you have to, and it may end up taking you a lot more time if you feel like you're constantly struggling to invite and to make money, which definitely isn't a nice feeling, right? It's like what I was saying with that resistance of going back and forth. We want to remove those blocks. So we all have limiting beliefs around inviting, right? We all have them. These beliefs are all about how much we deserve to make or how much effort it will take to get there, that making money is hard, right? Anyone feel like that before, that they felt like making money online is hard? Can you put in the comments if you have? This is a natural thing, but how we think about something determines how we take action. So if you think making money is easy online, you're going to go at it in a very, very different way than if you're somebody thinks that money is making hard online, right? Those are two very different beliefs. And it's the same with working out. Do you think working out is easy, or do you think it's working out is hard, right? Same thing. You see it in your clients all the time. The ones that think it's easy and start to convince themselves of that are the ones that actually work it out and go through with it. But the ones that are like, oh, drinking water is so hard, you're like, I don't know how to help you. You got to drink your water, but you got to learn to love it, right? And think that it's easy. That's what we're talking about here. It's not something also to be ashamed of if you have beliefs around inviting or beliefs around money. It's part of what we download as kids. Okay. So you may have always heard your mom saying there'll never be enough. Or maybe your dad was saying, oh, we don't like rich people. We don't like the people that live over there. They take advantage of people to get that sort of idea. We grow up with these beliefs as children, and we have not been taught how to let those go. They are operating in the back of your mind, and you're just running on autopilot. So these ideas get programmed in, and we have to be aware of them, or there'll always be this unconscious roadblock that is operating in the back of your mind, right? So your unconscious beliefs about inviting are downloaded into your operating system, where all the most important decisions in your life are made. So these ideas get programmed, and we have to become aware of them, or there'll always be this unconscious roadblock that is operating. Your unconscious mind may be saying to you, like, hey, obviously I want to make this coaching business work and I want to make lots of money, but it's your unconscious that is driving the ship and steering where you go. And that's the switchboard. That's the one really calling the shots. So it's really important to get your hands wrapped around this. So what would your life be like if you were earning 6 figures as a coach online? And I want you to pop in the comments here. You can write down your answer. What would change? I'm not just talking about the ideal situation here either. I'm talking about what exactly you believe the case would be to get there. Like, would you have to be, hey girl, hustling? Or would you, would you be spending more time with your kids? Or would you be on your phone all day? What would it look like if you were making 6 figures as a coach right now online? How does that appear for you or show up? Oh man, I'm reading some of these comments, guys. It's awesome that you guys are so in connection with what those beliefs are, because the wording of it is so important. That is the first step in unprogramming this stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I love it. More time with family, less stress for that from Christy. That would change everything for me. Freedom to quit my part-time job. I feel like I'd be able to truly explore hobbies. Double working. Okay. I wouldn't feel like I have to go back to school to be doing something I love. More time with family. Freedom to keep my kids home. Awesome. Okay, I love it, guys. That's so great. So here is the balance here, is that on one hand, you're going to have these beliefs or this resistance, like, you got in the game too late, or, this doesn't work for everyone. It just works for some people. You've got that on one side of things. And then you might have like a completely different belief around how this business could change things for you. But in order for us to go in our full glory and really get to where we need to be to get to earning 6 figures as an online coach, we need to make sure that we are aware of those limiting beliefs that have been programmed into us as kids. It's, what we do is we download our parents' thoughts, and whether those are good and help serve us, or whether it's something that, was programmed into them and they passed it on, it's up to us to be aware and to know what those things are. And that's why I absolutely love meditation. Meditation is one of those things that can help to start reprogram and make you aware of those thoughts. I've had these meditations before where all of a sudden it's like I'm stopped dead in my tracks, and it's like I remember something that was said to me as a kid that all of a sudden like connects all the dots and helps me unpack like what's happened. So I'm just going to give you guys a super quick example because I think this is really important. So Joe Dispenza is someone that does a lot of meditations, and they're my favorite. Now, the best ones are like the 45-minute ones where you're like about to fall asleep, like you're kind of like weaving in and out of that. And I've been doing a meditation before where I've all of a sudden remembered something that was said to me as a kid. And I had this one pop up that was like, you'd be perfect if you lost 5 pounds. And this was something that was said to me. And it's crazy because from that moment, that was in grade 9, from that moment, the rest of my life, I had lived like believing, oh, I'd be more perfect if I just lost a little bit of weight. And I was letting that thought drive every decision I was making around going to the gym, eating a certain way, all those things. And as soon as I remembered how that was implanted and where it came from, I was able to deconstruct it and take it down. So that is the importance of this stuff, really being able to wrap your hands around where this has come from. It's life-changing, I promise you. So if meditation is something you've been putting off or you've been thinking about, the more that you can be in tune with where these thoughts are coming from. And the other part of meditation is the more that you can create that ideal world in your mind, what it feels like, if you were to have a 6-figure business, what that dream house looks like, what it looks like to have the flexibility, the freedom, the traveling with your family, what it feels like to retire your husband. The more that you can feel that when you close your eyes, the faster you will get there. So I promise you, meditation is a huge part of your mindset. Joe Dispenza, make sure that you check him out because it will be life-changing for you. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. That is all the mindset stuff. I really wanted to lay that foundation for you guys. Really, really make sure that it's on your radar because often we look at personal development as more skills. And I'm not saying skills aren't important, but I'm just saying that your mindset is the most important one that has to be there first, right? So that's why I want to lay that foundation with you. So the 4-part inviting formula, this is the formula I created and that I use on a regular basis in my entire business. This is the stuff I paid for in masterminds, and I paid learning from 7-figure coaches, stuff I read in books, stuff I learned in courses, and stuff that I learned through trying 100 different things. So this is what rises to the top, what actually works, and what has helped me build a multiple 6-figure business, really putting in a formula that now runs on autopilot and allows me the freedom to spend my time how I want. And if you learn this formula, you will be able to create that same freedom for yourself that you're really, really looking for. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know me, I am a crime junkie. My favorite podcast is Crime Junkies, naturally. So you're going to see a lot of similarities here. This is just my personality type. So if you love crime podcasts or all the new stuff coming out, like Unsolved Mysteries, make sure that you pop your favorite show in the comments because I cannot help but binge on all of these things. And so I'm always looking for new shows and new podcasts, but that is my favorite one, Crime Junkies. With that being said, we are going to, it's always the music, right? The Unsolved Mysteries music, it's it gets me every single time. I used to watch it all the time with my dad. So that's why, it's a, oh my God, I'm reading these comments and I can't even, it's awesome. Okay. Step number 1, don't pop out of the bushes like stalkers do. So you know what the scariest encounters are? People that pop out of the bushes when you're walking along your typical route and you didn't even know they were there. And they're watching you, right? Seriously, it puts your body into this fight or flight response. You know what comes across as way, way more authentic? Being on the same street as someone and then passing by a few times before you dive into a full conversation with them, right? You may wave the first time you see somebody, say hi the second time, and ask them how they are the third time. This feels like a much more natural interaction than just popping out and being like, hey girl, what are you up to, right? So this is obviously very aligned with how we approach people on social media. If you want to authentically build connections, then you better know how to open the conversation. So if you know how to open a conversation, you'll never need to close. I'm going to repeat that one more time because it's so important. If you know how to open, then you'll never need to know how to close. Okay? So This is an example of how you open on social media. Before there's any dialogue exchanged, it's almost like you're passing someone on the street. They're going to have a quick look at you and decide, would I be friends with this person or not, right? So within 5 seconds, I know that I like her. This is Audrey Quinaulty, and her sister is actually a Beachbody coach, and Audrey actually works in the network marketing world, but in beauty products. So right away, I just want to draw some things to show you guys how immediately people are analyzing your feed and what you're putting out there. So the first thing I notice is she's got some young ones. So she's like family oriented. I can see that like she's got a lot of pictures of furniture. And if I were to read her post, then I would see that she actually likes to make furniture. She's a DIYer, which makes me like, I'm on one hand like jealous that she's so great at this because I want to be so good at that. But I'm like also in awe of it, you know, like that sort of feeling that you get. I can see that she likes to organize. She's like Marie Kondoing her closet there. I can see she's got beautiful skin and obviously like some great makeup going on. I can see that in a couple of her pictures here. I love her style, like the colors she uses. I can see she's got a bestie, and if I were to read that post, I know that they work together. So right away, like I know that I really, really like her. And this is important, right? You think about it, she is somebody that sells beauty products. It's not that right away that is like in anyone's face. It's a beautiful feed. It's aesthetically pleasing. If I were crossing by her on the street, I would know that I would like her right away. Okay. So how do you open in this way so that you never need to close? This is all coming from your social media posts that you're putting out there. It all hinges from there. Social media posts, like, don't get me wrong, they're not everything in your coaching business, but they immediately decide if someone is into you or not. So it's like, will they actually pass go or not with you? It's like dating, right? If you see someone's profile, it determines right away either, yeah, I want to take it a step further, or no, I don't. That is what social media is ultimately doing. It's either building that curiosity or building that like, oh, nope, don't want to interact. It's like having an elevator pitch without having an elevator pitch. You basically have 5 seconds to really decide, for that person to decide if they like you or not. So this is where, although social media is not everything, it is the gatekeeper of if people will go past that point. So your images have to be on point and your social media content has to be on point as well. If you miss those two things, it's impossible to build that sort of following that you're looking to build, right? So the questions that you want to ask yourself when you look at your feed are, these are the questions that your ideal audience is asking. Would I want your life? And so what I mean by that is like the colors that we use, the lighting, the themes of the types of pictures you share. You really want to make sure that they're in line with what your ideal customer likes. So if your ideal customer, some of you guys are going to be attracting moms, some of you are not. So your feed needs to reflect that. Some of you guys might be dog mamas, some of you are not. Again, it needs to reflect that feed. Some of you guys like maybe have a great sense of humor. Other of you guys are like more like serious and to the point. Your feed should be reflecting those things so that people immediately know either I jive with this person or not. You do want to turn them on or turn them off right away. That's really, really important. You don't want to be in the gray area. Nobody sticks in the gray area, right? Do we like the same things? So I'm looking at her feed and I'm looking for values and similarities and me 2.0. Me 2.0 is when I look at her do-it-yourself stuff. I'm like, jeepers, like she just German schmeared her house. Like, who is this girl? You know, like she has some amazing things that she is sharing. And when you think about your ideal customer, you're going to be doing the same thing, but in the health and fitness realm, most likely, right? So do you guys like the same things? That's what they're scanning for. Next, you want to look, they're going to look at, do you look Instagram worthy? I'm not just talking about like, oh, your like hair and makeup are all did and things like that. That's not what I'm talking about, but it's more so about being legit. Are you playing big? Do I know what you do? Because that creates legitimacy, right? If I know exactly like what you do, that you're in health and fitness, that you coach others. I'm not talking about that you're a Beachbody coach. That's not what this is about here. It's still about curiosity marketing, but it's about knowing what, like how you help people, right? That needs to be part of what you're putting out there consistently, with that heartbeat. And a lot of people get afraid of become afraid of this because they're like, oh, like, I just posted that the other day. Well, I'm going to get into this later, but social media posts are seen like less than 1% of the time by your audience. So that's why the repetition, the consistency is so important to get in front of people, because the delivery rate on your social media posts is pretty low. That's why, when it comes to being in like lots of places, people love stories. They're interactive, they're raw, they're real. You need to be posting on social. You need to be in all the places, to really make sure that you're getting out there. Now, as you get more advanced in this, you're going to pay to play, right? You're going to pay to play, meaning you're going to do more ads, Facebook and Instagram ads. But in the beginning, you got to set a base and just be really consistent with what you're putting out there, what your messaging is, that heartbeat of what you're all about. Okay, so step number 2. Don't weird out your internet stranger friends. So this is about becoming a master of conversation. How are conversations formed? This is what we want to talk about here. So if you guys have ever seen my favorite movie, it's I Love You, Man. Pop it in the comments. I would love to know if anyone else has seen this. So this movie, if you haven't seen it, it's about friendless Peter Clavin, who's this guy here. He goes on a series of mandates to find a best man for his wedding. And he learns to create a bond with a new BFF. Okay. So I want you to think about this for a sec. He is so awkward in trying to make friends. It's like he's forgotten how to do it. And he says things like, see you on another time. And you got it, Jobin. And it's so awkward. Like it's secondhand embarrassment to watch. But here's the thing. A lot of us do struggle with this. We forget how starting a conversation, what that actually looks like, right? Like you would never, crossing someone on the street, be like, hey girl, you want a health and fitness journey too? Like, no, you wouldn't. That would not be your line to open up. You would get to know that person. Like you would talk about your commonalities, like the fact that maybe you live on the same street or you have the same dog or you both like to work out. Like you would develop that relationship and that conversation. So it's really important to remember how conversations are actually formed. If you want people to be drawn to you, then you better know how to build solid virtual commonalities. Friendships aren't big things, right? They're thousands of small things. And there's really a lesson here actually in how these virtual bonds are made. Like when we think about social distancing for a sec, you want to think about how do we keep relationships close when you can't actually physically be with that person all the time? Well, the truth is a lot of these lessons, we're practicing them right now, right through social distancing. So what I mean by that is that in this world of distancing, you keep your friends up to date with how you're doing through sending more texts, sharing more stories, and getting on more video chats, right? How this translates to your business is if you are trying to be a master of conversations and you're trying to build these virtual commonalities, then you've got to be doing more stories, right? Like Insta stories and Facebook stories and sharing more of your journey. You also got to be going live more. The more that people see your face, the more that they can connect with you and who you are as a person. It's really hard to just always be connecting with just a photo of you. The more that they can see you interact, how you talk, how you teach, what you're all about, your like quirky side, all that stuff, they'll start to fall in love with that. So focus. And I know some people get caught up in the fact that they're like, oh, well, like, I don't know, like not everyone's going to like this. Good. You want to be black or white. Like you don't want to be in that gray zone because no one falls in love with gray. It's got to be either they love you or yeah, some people will hate you. That's a good thing. That means that you're drawing a line in the sand and being really, really who you are. It's really important. Stop using that "hey girl" pickup line, or "hey pretty lady" is the last one I've received. It really doesn't build like a commonality between you. It really sets you up for like it feeling really salesy when you're on the other side of it. So the other thing that we can do when we're trying to build these virtual commonalities is ask them if they need anything, right? This is a great thing to ask your audience. What do you guys do to make sure you have like a healthy shopping list? Or you could ask them if they need a shopping list, because like going to the grocery store ultimately determines if you shop healthy or not. Recipes for their picky kids, at home workouts. Like, what do your ideal customers actually need? We don't want to guess here, right? It's like, I have a baby shower coming up. I have to keep it a secret, actually. I don't think anyone of my family is watching here. Hopefully not. But like, it's really nice in that sort of process that they already know what I have and what I actually need, right? Being close with someone is actually knowing what they need so that you can help provide that for them. So it's really important that you ask your audience, you're in constant dialogue. What do they actually need from you? Be unapologetically your real self. Are you someone that loves to like sip rosé? Do you end up eating your kids' leftovers? Are you ordering everything off Amazon? Like, make sure you're real and that you tell stories here. This is really, really important. Stories are what connect us. They are how, our ancestors used to pass down things, is through storytelling. We remember stories. We don't remember facts and details. So be your unapologetically real self and share those behind the scenes things that are going on. That helps build virtual commonalities. Start having more conversations that start with them, with your ideal customer. It's not about you. It's what is going on in their lives that really matters and that they're going to be eager to talk about. All right, step number 3, don't run at people with all the solution scissors. So what I mean by that is if you want people to open up to you, then you better know how to cultivate trust and real relationships. When I was a personal trainer, instantly when I told them that, they would open up and ask all the questions. They would be like, oh, like I have cravings for carbs at night. I know I don't get enough water. I know I need to exercise more. Like they would just open right up to me. I never, ever would have to start with solutions to, end up getting someone as a client. And that's something that it's really important when you're building these, commonalities with people. If you want them to open up, then you need to start asking them the right questions to get them to open up instead of providing solutions right away. That does not build trust with people. So when people trust you and they actually see you as an authority, they open up to you about their biggest challenges. And the more that you understand their biggest challenges, like for example, let's say they struggle with time, or they think that going to the gym is too expensive, and all these other objections you guys hear, like it's about showing them what the possibilities are. Like when you consider that BOD is, what is it? I'm trying to think Canadian versus US here. What is it? 99 a year? Let's say it's 99 a year. Divide that by 365 days. 99 divided by 365. That's 27 cents a day. Like people are not aware. There's usually a limiting belief holding them back from taking action. And them thinking that getting fit is too expensive is something that's causing them to not take action. So the more that you can understand, 120 Canadian. All right, let's redo that math. I don't think it's going to be too much different, but 32 cents a day. 32 cents a day, right? So they're not going to move forward in that relationship with you unless you understand what their biggest challenges are and then how to help them overcome them, right? So free Facebook groups are actually a perfect way to build a deeper relationship with someone without being creepy and building authority where people see you as an expert. So the way that I see this is like, and I'm going to show you guys a chart of what this looks like, but your social media posts are on top. They're really important. It's just important to be consistent and continue to put yourself out there. I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh, like it really looks like you're doing well. And literally all they're seeing is my social media posts. We've never had a conversation about, what's happened after I left the corporate fitness industry, anything like that. They're making all those judgments based on social media posts. They may see it, they may not engage with it. Like, these are people that are not engaging with the posts, but they're seeing them. So that's a really important thing to consider. It's putting it out there and not being attached to the engagement. I promise you, don't get attached to it. Then from there, what we want to do is we want to show them that we're an authority, and we want to build those commonalities. That's where a Facebook group is such a perfect way to do that. This is a free community. And what happens is, think about it this way, you're going to be able to build relationships with all these people in that Facebook group without having to send, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, message after message after message. You post once, and then in that group, people see things that you're posting. And of course, when people join in that Facebook group, you can grab their email, and then you can start communicating with one email to many people, right? So it's all about working smarter. I don't want you to get burnt out by the Hey Girl hamster wheel. This is the way that you're going to be able to do that. So Facebook groups are the best place to start serving and learning about your ideal customers. What you're going to see in the Posting Party workbook when you download that is, one of the pieces of homework is, I want you to ask your audience, what's the number one challenge you have with getting healthy and reaching your goals? So we need to learn in their words how they phrase it, what they're struggling with. Facebook groups are such a good way to start collecting that intel, because Facebook groups get put ahead in terms of the algorithm of just like business content or any of that sort of stuff. So they're seen more often. So that's why I love them. They're a great place to go. You can go live. It's like, it's doing one activity that is like a really hard hitting activity. It's going to get you lots of results by doing that, versus it's like multiplication versus addition. Addition is hey girl messaging. Multiplication is showing up live. It's sending emails. It's, doing these big heavy hitting tasks once and doing a really good job of them. So here are some pro tips about Facebook groups. Ask 2 questions when they join your free Facebook group. What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now, and what's your email address? And I'm going to get to this question about email systems too. Those are the 2 most important questions. You can set them up in your Facebook group so that they automatically get asked when people join your group. So email systems, I'm actually going to talk about it in this section here. So I don't want you guys to plan the slow drive-by. So what I mean by that is, if you want people to join you, then you better know what actual problems they have and how to solve them. How do you keep, how do you actually solve people's problems if you don't know what they are? You need to ask them the right questions and know what they're really, really struggling with. And the best way to do that is through these Facebook groups. It's through sending them emails, because people are used to opening emails. It's in all these places. It's really important to have your ideal customers right at your fingertips. So social media is a really noisy place to have a conversation. And we know that, right? By sending tons of hey girl messages, you get ghosted a lot. It's a lot of extra effort for not a lot of result. So it's a really hard place to try to have this dialogue with somebody, or on your social media posts, because people don't see them that often. So the stats on social, Facebook and Instagram posts, there's a 2 to 6% delivery rate. And even now this number is lower, because Facebook wants you to pay to play, right? Now, here's where the math is incredible. When you start getting on this idea of email, and I know I've seen this before, people are like, oh, isn't email dead? No, email is thriving. Please, 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 if there's one thing you take away from today, be it that you start an email list. I promise you it will pay off. So when you do the math here, if you are just posting on social media and your business is really one-dimensional, I call this renting. So you have 2,000 friends, let's say, 40 people see a post, you're going to get about 8 reactions in this social media one-dimensional place. But if you start emailing people, with 20% open rate for email is average. So just by starting to send emails, you're going to have that jump of like 2% to 20%. That means that if you have 2,000 emails, 400 people will open that email and you'll have 80 reactions. So it's like you're 10xing your result just by putting the same information in an email. You have a much, much better chance to make an impact, and you're going to save a bunch of time, right? That's what this is about. You don't want to be a slave to your business. You want to build your business around you and your lifestyle choices. This is really one way to take all that extra time from just messaging people off the table. When it comes to email, headlines really determine if people will even open your email. So that's where you're starting to think about focusing more of your time, and know the problems your audience has and solve them. That is what people want to read in their emails. They don't want to just see you selling to them all the time, right? They want to see value in the emails they're getting from you. But again, here's the beautiful part. You write an email once that is helping solve your ideal customer's problems. You send it once and it goes to all those people. So it's a really great way to save time and to make sure that your audience is getting what they need to help them solve their problems. You want to have a strategy behind the emails that you're sending, of course, right? We all have limiting beliefs. Like we just talked about ours, right? Around inviting and mindset and all those things. Your ideal customers have limiting beliefs too. They think that working out is too expensive, that it will be too much time, that they can't commit. And the point in your emails is to start to help them move past those limiting beliefs. Like, how long does it take you to get a workout in? Can you do one in 20 minutes? Yeah, absolutely. So we can start to talk about those things and unravel those limiting beliefs to help your ideal customers move forward. And this is the difference between being one-dimensional on social media in just your posts versus having a system of like social media posts, free group, then getting them on your email list. When you can start emailing them these things, you control the messaging of how they get your message and in which order. So and obviously you have a much, much bigger impact. That's why having a strategy and really making sure to use email to the full potential is so impactful in your business. So here are some pro tips with emails. Send emails at least once a week. Always have a CTA, which means call to action, even if it's just a PS. You're also going to use an email service provider. So that question about should I use Gmail or what should I use? You want to use something like ConvertKit or MailChimp, because then you can start to see what are those open rates and you can resend an email to the non-openers. Always change the headline, but you can then send out that same email to people that may not have seen it, because we all know like things get lost in the inbox depending on what time of day we send it. But always use an email service provider. It's so much more legit. And the delivery rates are good. We like ConvertKit, but MailChimp is free. So you've got some options there. And then you're always going to resend to non-openers. So I want you to make the decision here to never spray and pray again. When you implement this 4-part formula that we've just talked about, you'll never be spraying and praying hey girl messages, because we all know it isn't possible to maintain that level of individual invites to increase to a multiple 6-figure business. We know we've got to work smarter, and we know that we need a system in place in order to do this. So that's a really important piece of going from hustle, 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 hustle to multiplication and working really smart and really setting up this formula and this framework for success in your business. You'll be consistently inviting multiple people through social media, your Facebook group, and email, where the foundation of what is driving this content plan is knowing exactly what your ideal customers need and how you can help them. That is what is driving all of this. Okay. So that is really important. And in the messaging and what you are putting out there, it needs to connect to your ideal customers and how you can help them. So what does your current formula look like? How are you guys inviting right now? Throw it in the comments there. I would love to hear what this looks like, because we want to get really clear on that inviting formula and creating a customer journey. Like, this is the number one thing that you need to perfect in order to grow your business, is inviting more. We hear that all the time, right? And we know that ultimately that's what pays, is when we can invite more and we can get more coaches and challengers in our groups, right? So get clear on what your inviting formula looks like. And I want you to also think about creating a customer journey, okay? So this is the customer journey. Maybe you guys have seen this before. This is called a sales funnel. So what happens with a sales funnel? It's a visual metaphor taken by a potential customer that moves towards becoming, at the top, their potential, at the bottom, they're an actual customer. The width of each part of the funnel reflects the audience size, with the top of the funnel being widest and the bottom being the smallest. At the top of the funnel, you have your social media visitors, anyone that's engaging with your content, and at the bottom is a conversion, like someone actually making a sale. The goal of marketing sales in this model is to get as many prospects in the top of the funnel and convert them down into customers. So I love this. I'm seeing a lot of people say they don't maybe have a formula. Yes, Candy, there will be a replay. Also through freebies and emails. Love it. Inviting. I followed and commented, doing some audio messaging, all knows. Yeah. Stories and posts with, hey, join me. Yeah. IG stories, but one time a month, not inviting too much. Yeah, it's hard, right? When you don't have a roadmap and you don't have a strategy, it can feel like you're putting a ton of effort into it and not seeing anyone like come back. And here's the other thing about this that is really hard, is that when you don't have a strategy, like, you are constantly in follow-up mode of like trying to like spray and pray and follow up with all these people without any like real tangible stats or results. So the goal is to move customers down through your funnel from initial like becoming aware of you to purchase. So this is what it looks like when we implement the 4-part inviting formula. The sales funnel itself, this is the same in every sales business. You always have people that you want to become aware of you. You want to drive interest. You want to then ask them to make a decision, and then you want them to take action. So this is how the 4-part inviting formula works. You have your social media posts on top that are going to drive people into your Facebook group, your free community. You can do that through 2 ways. Your call to action post will be, hey, join me on the inside of my Facebook group, or it will be, hey, download the 12 best recipes of summer, blah, 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 right? You're collecting an email that way. The goal is to then drive people into email, because then we can send one email, we can send it to 2,000 people, and we can consistently be moving people towards action. And then you can be asking them to make a decision, right? Like, hey, I have this challenge group coming up, Muscle Burns Fat. If you haven't checked it out, here's the link to get more information on it, right? So at the top is the widest part of your funnel. And the goal of your funnel is actually to sort out the uninterested people so you're not constantly DMing them. Huge savings of time when you only talk to people that are interested, right? Then you can focus on, okay, what do I need to do to just fill up my funnel? It's not simply enough just to, hey girl, message people. You have to have a strategy in addition to doing something different if you want to see different results, right? We all know that. The most effective approach to actually converting leads is to build a process that automatically brands you, supplies work to your prospects, follows up with them, and sorts out the uninterested people, right? Wouldn't it be great if you never ever had to waste time talking to uninterested people again? Like, such a no-brainer, right? So it's your time. There's never been a better time to be an online entrepreneur. And either you'll master it and you'll be driving people to your groups, replacing your income and hitting your financial goals, or someone else will. Because when you have a roadmap for success and you follow it, like, there's no reason that you can't get there if you're willing to do the work. And there couldn't be a better time to be working online than there is right now with everything going on. So I want you to put in the comments here, why did you show up today? Do you want to be more consistent with your income? Do you want more freedom? And for sure, we could solve that. You want to be more consistent with money? No problem. Maybe you want to see what's possible. Maybe it was to see how I'm doing it and what that 4-part inviting formula looks like, to see what's holding you back, or to find out if there is an easier way. Okay. So the obvious question is, how do I apply this in my coaching business right now, right? Because you've learned all this stuff, you have the roadmap. And the thing is, like, you have a ton of options with how you apply this. If you don't use the strategy I'm about to introduce you to, you can totally do this on your own and you can figure out a way to do it. So option 1 is, if you know, in deciding to do this, you can do the long, bumpy, are we there yet road. You can take the long winding road. I have lots of time to get there. Trial and error does work. It's frustrating and confusing, and a lot of people will quit even before they get there. And that's the problem with the long, windy, bumpy road. Even if you have a lot of time, or going to make it to even if you do have a lot of time, the question is, are you going to make it to the end, or quit before you get there? So if you send enough Hey Girl messages, you will maybe eventually master this stuff and come up with your own system. And if you read enough books, maybe you'll figure it out in your own time. There definitely is that possibility. Option 2 is the simple and strategic way. This is the way that I'd love for you to go with. And this is taking some training with me, doing it much, much faster than on your own, eliminating the learning curve, and starting to generate income for your business as soon as possible. So this is where I want to introduce you to the Done For You monthly marketing funnel. It's the fastest way to transition from that Hey Girl hustling while trying to convert crappy cold leads to becoming an authentic attraction magnet with clients that cannot stop buying from you. This is what the monthly plan, everything that we've talked about is all about, what is packed into the monthly marketing funnel. It's going to give you complete A to Z templates for building that inviting funnel from start to finish. Whether you're an advanced coach or maybe you're somebody that's just getting started, it has all the pieces of the puzzle with all of the tech videos to help you get set up, no matter where you're starting from. And maybe you're, just getting started and making, $100 a month, or maybe you're more advanced and you're making $5,000 a month. This funnel works for all types of coaches in their journey. The principles that I'm going to teach you through the monthly marketing funnel will help you get into, 5-figure months, 6-figure years, much faster than doing this on your own. So I want to introduce you guys to Bria. Bria is the first coach I started working with. She's a 4-time elite top influencer. She's the creator of the She community. And she's an 8-star diamond coach with Beachbody. So I'm just going to play her, her outlook on how these roadmaps and things have been able to help her. Cause it's always better to be able to hear it from someone else than to try to, just do it on your own.
Hey, so my name is Bria Ethanson, and I have been running an online business for 7 years now. And it's funny because it used to be that I could connect with people through social media all the time. But a couple years ago, I started to see how things were changing in the algorithms of the different social media platforms. And I knew that something had to change, but I was not well versed in marketing. I didn't know, my philosophy degree wasn't applying for my marketing needs. There was so much I didn't know about the world of marketing, and I knew I had to make that move, but there were so many confusing things. What do I write in an email for the copy? How do I do it? How do I put it together? What kind of freebie do I give people? And that was when I got to connect with Ashley. And Ashley Shaw's stuff has been an incredible guideline for me to learn how to use this and also supplement what I'm doing and really just provide me with great language that are going to create emails and freebies that people want to open up for. It's been a game changer for my business. Now I send out and collect emails all the time with freebies. I send out regular emails, and my business works so much more seamlessly with much less effort than it once did. So I'm a huge fan. I use it every month, and that is why I am really grateful to have a membership opportunity. And I could thank Ashley forever to have freedom back in my life, and also just have a guideline for the knowledge that I knew I needed and didn't know how to find amidst all the chaos. So thank you. I hope that this helps you too, and good luck.
All right. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I think it's different coming from another coach, right? Like someone that is in it and that can explain like how it's made a difference in their business. Bria is someone that is famously known for working 10 hours a week, and she's making over 6 figures and has 2 kids at home, and she's been able to implement these systems to really help put her business on autopilot. So this is what you will get. Super easy to digest digital monthly templates to cover your social media, your freebies, Facebook groups, and emails. You'll get a funnel that is converting people on autopilot. You're also going to get the tech tip video library. These are the 5 videos you need to set up all the pieces of your funnel. And you'll also get access to an exclusive Facebook group, Social Selling Mastery, where you'll receive Q&A calls and accountability with me. You can ask all your questions. And as we start to see more and more questions come in about a certain topic, we start to compile our resources and put together workshops. So for example, for those that are in the monthly membership now, or people that are joining now, you guys are going to see a Facebook ads for beginners workshop that is coming up. So if you're someone that's like, oh, how do I get people into my group? How do I take this next step? We're going to set up the foundation for you. And with having such a great community of coaches, we always know what the next question is so that we can add those bonuses and those workshops in that are automatically included in your membership, so that you're not wasting any time being stuck in analysis paralysis. You can just you ask your questions, and then we're able to react and get you what you need to move forward in your business. So part 1, I just wanted to show you what's inside the Done For You marketing funnel. So you get Done For You social media posting template. So as you guys can see, there's sort of 3 options here. You've got the lesson of like what the post is about. So you can just use this as inspiration and write your post based on that. They all have a driving force behind it. Or you can copy and paste, or you can take this and Mad Lib it and like change out words and change out things that you know your ideal customer really, really resonates with. If you are part of the Done For You posting party, you're going to get a sample of what this looks like every day. And I'm going to walk through all the training and accountability with you day by day so that I can teach you what we're trying to do with the post, what the purpose of it, what is the emotion we're driving. You're going to get to see all that happening through the posting party. Next, we include a beautifully designed value-packed freebie every month. So we line these up to go with whatever's launching in Beachbody. So we launch with the Beachbody calendar. So for Muscle Burns Fat, we did 32 of the best shake recipes ever, and we collect all that information from our community. So we're making sure to get the very, very best of the best. And then we line up our freebies to match up with, well, Muscle Burns Fat is all about building muscle tone, looking leaner, and really helping people get over the fact that, you know, they say they want to lose weight, but we know that gaining muscle is a part of like looking more toned and fitting better into your clothes, all those things that people typically want. So the freebie helps really uncover those limiting beliefs. And we're talking about the protein intake, obviously, and Shakeology. So we are behind the scenes constantly thinking about your sales strategy and the psychology behind how we can help you move more customers to action. So you'll never have to worry about that strategy. We have got you, and that is what we're really good at on the back end. Part 3 is all your emails. So those are also all done for you. And they go with the Beachbody calendar. So if we're promoting, in this case, it was 10 rounds. If we're promoting muscle burns fat, that is all happening on the inside of your email series. And we also we'll have like recruiting drives and things that weave in and out as the Beachbody calendar is cycling through. So you'll never worry about what to email out and what your call to action will need to be. You're also going to get curated Facebook group posts. So these can be used for your free community, or if you're somebody that still has challengers, you're not using the bod groups. I've heard some feedback back and forth there, people using them, not using them, but these can be used for your free groups or for your challenge groups. And so the purpose of these is to drive education, engagement, and inspiration, and of course, accountability. That's the importance of the groups. So we're trying to teach a lot. We're trying to get people to participate, and all the posts are done for you, and we supply you with images as well. Then we also give you guys monthly professional stock photos. So these are actually all taken by a Beachbody coach. So she knows exactly what is needed month over month. She puts on all the filters. You can use these for your Facebook groups. You can use them for your social media feed. You can use them wherever you want. They're high quality. They can be used for websites, landing pages, all that sort of stuff. So what you can expect from the Done For You marketing funnel is more authentic engagement. Absolute consistency, because everything is done for you. So you're never going to be like, oh, I don't have a post for today, or oh, I don't have an email to send out this week. It's all done. So you just schedule it. You're going to get a proven sales funnel that works, 10 times more confidence in yourself and the future of the business. Like, having a plan is the most important thing here after your mindset, right? Is actually knowing the steps you need to take. You're going to have a system that runs on autopilot for you, and you're going to get 40 hours back in your life per month. That is what it would take to pull all this together. So it definitely will create that time back in your life that I know most coaches are looking for. So what's the investment? So when it comes to the investment, so I'm going to put this number on the screen and explain it, $25,000. So much of what I learned came from a mastermind that I did, where I invested in. It was called the Accelerator Mastermind. And this was with Rick Mulready. And this was my investment into that mastermind. It's what I've applied in the Done For You marketing funnel. And of course, everything is charged up and simplified in the Done For You marketing funnel to what actually worked and helped me go from 0 clients to 30,000 people that I help per month. And it's what works best in the fitness industry. So that's what I ended up paying for that mastermind. So obviously the goal of this is to make it affordable and make sure that any coach can get into it. So, then I could also look at, okay, 10,000 gets you all that same information, but just pay once. But obviously I want this to be simple and affordable, and for someone at any stage of their business, right? And so if you were to create this for yourself and just have a copywriter write everything, write your posts, write your emails, create your freebie, do all your posts, it would be, you're paying a copywriter. You can pay anywhere from $30 to $300 an hour. And if you wanted to have them create something for you for a monthly plan, it would be about $650 to do all that. So, that obviously at this point, I wanted this to be something that everyone could afford and be less expensive. So this is where I landed on the price for the Done For You marketing funnel. It's $147 per month, and you can actually, it's a no commitment membership, meaning you can cancel at any point in time. And this is everything that I've learned in the most important masterminds of 16 years of sales experience in being an English literature major, and putting all this combined effort into something that produces for you on a monthly basis that helps drive customers into your business. Now, the best part about this is not only are you getting this from a sales strategist, but there is also a money back guarantee, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit about too. So you can go to ashleyshaw.ca/masterclass bonuses, and that is going to walk you through everything that comes in the membership, how to get started. It talks to you about, what the no commitment means. You can always put your membership on hold, which makes sure you retain all the bonuses that you're going to get today by joining. And it makes sure that you have that flexibility. If you ever did want to cancel, it's not, there's no commitment. So it's ashleyshaw.ca/masterclass bonus. You can also pay all up front as well. Yes, there is a bonus. If you pay up front, you can save more money than what is listed here as well. Go to ashleyshaw.ca/masterclass bonuses. It's going to show you the annual option. So there is a 30-day 100% risk-free guarantee. So I want to tell you guys about it because it's really important that whatever you are deciding to invest in, you feel really confident about it. And I get it. Like sometimes, you know, we have spouses, partners, or, you know, people that we also like to review these things with. And this is where the 30-day money back risk-free guarantee comes in. This means that if you purchase the membership, you are ultimately accountable to using all the materials, right? Like the risk-free guarantee doesn't work if you like post a few times and then you're like, oh, it doesn't work. And you like are just doing the slow drive-by and not using the materials. You have to use all the materials. So that means like ultimate accountability, all 30 posts, all 4 emails. You got to use the freebie, and you've got to use the Facebook group posts, and you've got to do the ideal customer workshop that comes with the monthly membership. In doing so, if you do not gain a client and you show us your before and after in your coach office, 100% money back guarantee. We guarantee that this will help you gain a client, and we 100% stand behind that. So there is a risk-free guarantee that is included because I want you to feel really comfortable with your purchase, and not be worried that like, well, what if it doesn't work? If you do the work, it works. So we are 100% willing to stand behind that. Okay, these are the bonuses that you are going to get, the fast action bonuses. So by taking action right away, these are all the bonuses that will be included. How to slow the scroll. This is training with Trish Taylor. So Trish Taylor is my stylist, and she is a former stylist to the stars. She's worked with Ariana Grande, Kerry Washington, to name a few. And what you're going to get with this training, you're going to learn how to get people's scroll to stop when it comes to your feed and to your images. Trish is going to walk you through the brand colors, what your feed really needs to look like to help slow that scroll down. So if you're not getting engagement or you're not sure how to make sure that your feed really pops, this is something that Trish is going to teach you in this 1-hour workshop. The next thing you're going to get is the tech training videos. So we have 5 tech videos, which we call Funnels 101. And these are to help you set up your marketing funnel. And this is with Bill Shaw. So he is going to help set you up for success. He's going to eliminate that overwhelm. Nothing like getting stuck in analysis paralysis, right? So we've taken that work out for you. He's going to show you how to set up your freebie, how to set up your emails, and make sure that you're set up for success so that you're fully using all the tools to get your funnel working and set up correctly for you. He's also going to teach you how to schedule your posts and what are some of the tools that we use to schedule ours. Next, you're going to get access to an exclusive Facebook group. This is called Social Selling Mastery. It's where all the magic happens. It's where you guys are going to get access to me to ask your questions. I go live in there. And it's where we help collect all our data of what you guys need next. So you can trust that when you join the Done For You marketing funnel, you're not just joining with what you have access to right now. We always include like all the bonuses that keep coming and the workshops. We always pile those into our monthly marketing membership. So this is a membership that is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. We're constantly adding to it with what is working right now out there. So you can be sure that you have like boots on the ground, someone doing the research and making sure that you have the best of what is working in social media right now and what's working in email, what's working in marketing, all that sort of stuff. So you can just focus on coaching and why you actually signed up to become a coach. Next, we have the Ideal Customer Workshop. This is 2 hours with me. Hopefully you're not sick of me yet in my training, but you're going to learn how to speak to your ideal customers, how to tweak the language, how to get better engagement, and how to start using your messaging to move people to action. So this workshop it's like what I wish I would have had when I first started out as somebody helping Beachbody coaches. Like if someone could have helped me nail this, I feel like I could have got up and got going so much quicker. But I learned the hard way, and that's okay. It just took me a little bit longer, but I'm passing that time savings over to you guys to make sure that you learn how to speak to your ideal customers right away, so you know how to tweak your posts, you know how to tweak everything that you're putting out there. Once you make this connection, like, you will never, ever, ever look at your ideal customers the same way again. So the science of overcoming objection, I want to tell you guys how to get that workbook. You're going to go to ashleyshaw.ca/masterclass bonuses. And that workbook, there's going to be a link for you there. And then, why should you trust me to help you build a done for you marketing funnel? I'll just give you guys, these are a couple of the things you can expect. I get this all the time, like, well, what can I expect with Success Club? So since I started, I hit Success Club 14. That's from Sharon. I've just got to say, this has to be the best money I've ever spent, not to mention how easy it is when the work is done for you. It gave me time to focus on the follow-ups. Madison says, I've only been higher than Success Club 6 the month I came home from Summit last year. Well, this month I started the group at Success Club 4, thinking to myself, man, I'll be stuck here and miss Success Club 5 again. Well, hello, Success Club 8, second highest I've ever gotten. And then we have Susie, who said, it must be something about day 3 for me whenever Ashley Shaw is involved. I did her done for you plan and got 2 challengers directly because of it. That I know for sure. And by day 6, and this morning I woke up to another person asking to get in on the journey. Do the work. I mean, it's given for you and you'll see results.